Morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Uma Maheshwari. I'm here to present a research article on effective regional anesthesia and cataract surgery. Why have pain with peribulbar block? There's no financial interest. Anesthesia care for ophthalmic surgical procedures balances goals of patient comfort with safety and an optimal outcome in a highly cost-conscious environment. The ideal anesthesia for a cataract surgery would be one that provides adequate pain relief during surgery and postoperatively and be easy to administer and minimal complications. It is necessary to make the anesthetic technique patient-friendly, safe, effective, and economically feasible. A variety of local anesthetic techniques have been developed and refined. Retrobulbar anesthesia was initially used for cataract extraction, which was gradually replaced by peribulbar anesthesia, which is the most popular technique in the previous decade. Both techniques can have serious needle-related complications such as retrobulbar hemorrhage, optic nerve injury, and globe perforation. Subtenuous anesthesia is gaining popularity as it provides quicker onset of anesthesia, better analgesia, and faster patient rehabilitation. Aim of my study was to compare the safety and efficacy of subtenuans over peribulbar block to provide an optimal anesthesia for cataract surgery by phacoemulsification. My inclusion criteria were patient aged above 35 years with uncomplicated cataract, admitted for elective phacoemulsification in the Department of Ophthalmology in a tertiary care center. Exclusion criteria were patient below 35 years of age, traumatic or complicated cataract, patient with bleeding disorders, patient with impaired mental status, patients refusing local anesthesia, patients having allergic to local anesthetic drugs, and one-eyed patient. An observational comparative study was conducted among 158 patients who underwent cataract surgery by phaco and regional anesthesia. The study was conducted in a tertiary care center. After obtaining approval from the Institutional Ethics Committee, the period of study was 1 year. A complete ophthalmic examination, including best corrected visual acuity, cataract grading, and dilated fundus evaluation was done for all patients. Preoperative evaluation and anesthetic fitness were obtained. The total sample size was 158, among which 79 patients received peribulbar anesthesia, 79 received subtenuans anesthesia. The parameters which were analyzed were time of onset of ocular akinesia, analgesia at various intervals, minor complications such as chemosis and subconjunctival hemorrhage. The pain score was assessed during administration of anesthetic drug intraoperatively and postoperatively using a 11-point numerical pain reporting scale. The degree of pain was again divided into no pain had a grade of 0, mild pain had grade 1 to 2, moderate pain had grade 3 to 4, and severe pain had grade more than 5. Statistical analysis for descriptive statistics, percentage mean and standard deviations were used. For inferential statistics, chi-squared independent t-test were used. P-value less than 0.5 was taken as statistically significant. Among 158 patients, 79 had received peribulbar anesthesia, 79 had received subtenuans anesthesia. All were operated by the same surgeon. The mean age in the peribulbar and the subtenuans anesthesia group was 65.54 and 64.23 respectively. Gender distribution in peribulbar group, male were 40, female were 39. In subtenuans group, male were 38, female were 41. The distribution of study population was similar in both the groups with respect to age and gender. Analgesia assessment, subtenuans anesthesia had a low pain score in which 85% had no pain during administration, as you could see in the graph in the peribulbar group, whereas 65% had moderate pain during administration, which is statistically significant with a p-value of less than 0.001. This is a tabular column showing the analgesia which is achieved between both the technique during administration intraoperatively and postoperatively. Analgesia during and post-surgery was similar in both techniques, whereas during administration, they had a significant difference. Ocular akinesia was achieved faster with subtenuans block, average time of onset being 45 seconds. In peribulbar block, took a longer time to achieve ocular akinesia, with a statistically significant difference of p-value less than 0.001. The incidence of minor complications such as chemosis and subconjunctival hemorrhage were more in subtenuans technique. This is a tabular column showing the complications such as chemosis. As you could see, only 31.6% of patients had chemosis in peribulbar group, whereas in 60.7% of patients had chemosis in subtenuans anesthesia. Similarly, subconjunctival hemorrhage was more in subtenuans anesthesia with 26.6% of patients. Safer anesthetic techniques had led to the introduction of peribulbar anesthesia and more recently topical anesthesia. In this study, we compared the efficacy of subtenuans over peribulbar anesthesia. In our study, peribulbar anesthesia had ranked higher in pain score, wherein subtenuans block had a low pain score, and also patients were more comfortable during administration as they were unaware of the injection being given. Analgesia during and post-surgery were comparable in both techniques. This observation on analgesia was supported by studies such as Parker et al. And Data et al. In our study, ocular akinesia was achieved faster in subtenuans group compared to peribulbar group. Briggs et al. Also concluded that the time interval between the administration of anesthesia and commencement of surgery was significantly less in subtenuans block when compared to peribulbar block. Incidence of minor complications such as chemosis and subconjunctival hemorrhage were more with subtenuans anesthesia. Subtenon's anesthesia is more comfortable to conclude. Subtenon's anesthesia is more comfortable on administration and also reduces the interval between administration of anesthesia and surgery. The ease of administration and patient comfort intraoperatively also makes Subtenon's anesthesia a preferred choice over topical anesthesia for the surgeon. It also has reduced risk of major complications such as pleural perforation, retrobulbar hemorrhage, optic nerve injury, and injection of anesthetic solution in the subarachnoid space as no sharp instrument is passed into the orbit. Subtenon's anesthesia is safe, effective, and more comfortable alternative technique for phaco surgery. These are my references pertaining to my study. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor, for finishing it in a tremendous speed. May I now request our judges if you have any questions for her? Thank you.
How much amount of anesthesia did you give in each? Like peribulbar, how much did you inject, and how much did you inject in
So
Subtenon?
both were 5 ml, sir. 5 ml of
5 ml in Subtenon.
Subtenons. It was 3 ml. In this, it was 5 ml, sir.
Okay.
What was the drug given in peribulbar anesthesia? Was it Xylocan or mixed with the sensitive?
Yes, sir. It was xylocaine, lignocaine mixed with hyaluronase with bupivacaine, sir.
What was the ratio of mixture of those drugs?
3 ml plus 2 ml, sir.
3 ml is Xylocan. Was it with the adrenaline or without adrenaline?
With adrenaline, sir.
In every patient, you used it with adrenaline. In hypertensive and cardiac patients as well.
In cardiac patients, it was without adrenaline. Because high risk patients, without adrenaline. So,
Dr. Uma,
yes, sir.
what is the type of needle used in Subtenon?
Subtenons, it was
Special cannula?